What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Nerd Media, and in this video, I want to take a second to discuss the Kingdom Come DC comic book because I literally just finished reading this for the first time today, and it genuinely may be one of my favorite DC stories that I've read so far, and it may be one of my favorite DC like alternate universe kind of stories because I've read a lot of those as well. So it's definitely up there, and I really want to talk more about it in this video. Talk about what I think some of the best parts of this are and some of the best moments and why I think it's so great. So we're going to be doing all that and more in this video, but don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you've read this book, and if you haven't, there's probably going to be spoilers for the comic, but if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. And if you don't really care about spoilers, go ahead and watch it. I'm not going to stop you. But with all that being said, let's dive right into the video. Kingdom Come is a DC comic book that takes place in an alternate universe that is not necessarily the main DC timeline. It's kind of like how Watchmen takes place in an alternate DC timeline. And in this comic book, it's basically the premise that superhumans no longer want or have been helping humanity. Like Superman, Wonder Woman, everybody are kind of off the grid, and there are superheroes out there who are taking the next measure and are calling Superman and his ways of dealing with things like old timey and classic, and people are just genuinely going out there and killing different superheroes and everything. So people are in a lot more danger, and you still have people like Batman out there, but the main big players that are looked up to as gods basically have disappeared. We follow this pastor who's being taken by this godly figure, and we basically follow him throughout the whole book, which I think is very cool. And we get to see him narrate a lot and see his perspective, and I really just enjoyed that part of the book alone. And I really thought that the story of Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, everybody coming back to restore faith in humanity and kind of restore their faith in them, I thought was a really fascinating story to tell. And it's not the happiest story, but it does end in a really happy way that I really loved with Bruce, Diana, and Clark. I really loved that moment in the book. And overall, this book is just really awesome, and I really enjoyed every second of it. And I'm really just blown away by some of the art style, in this book. I mean, it's like super realistic, but it's also just super artsy, and I really love that. And it's very brutal too. It's a very brutal comic book to watch because there's a lot of brutal stuff that happens, but it's a very fascinating story to tell for DC, and I personally really love it. It may not be as good as Watchmen, but it is definitely up there for one of my favorite alternate universe DC comic books, and it's a very good read. I highly recommend it. It actually has the same suit that we're going to be seeing Superman in the Superman film this year, just the logo is all yellow and everything, kind of like the classic stuff. So I personally just really love this so much, and I really recommend it to you guys. I have been reading a lot of comic books lately, and this was a very fast pickup. I wanted to get this one. I've wanted to read this one for so long, and it was so worth it because the story that they are able to tell here is so great, and that's why I love the freedom that DC gives themselves to make alternate stories like this. And when we get to see a story from the perspective of a pastor who was chosen to oversee and make decisions on what the fate of humanity could be, and the choice of do you want superhumans to live or humans to live, I just loved that kind of idea and concept, which is something that Superman has to juggle with, and Shazam also has to juggle with in this book. And I really enjoyed it. It was very fun to read, and the story is just really awesome. I highly recommend this book to you guys. If you haven't checked it out, please do so because it is a very good read. And I would honestly recommend this as a necessity to read before Superman, just because of how well done the Superman story in this book is. I mean, the story isn't solely around Superman. If anything, I would say it's about the pastor that we see and that is narrating the whole thing. But I think that this is a great Superman story when you just focus on him, and it's a really fascinating story to tell about him. So I highly recommend it for anybody who is going to see Superman this year, and just if you enjoy comic books, especially DC, check this one out. It's great. It's awesome. has a great story. It has a lot of great character moments. It has a lot of great artwork in it, and it's overall just a really great concept that I really enjoyed. So, with all that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you've been enjoying my comic book content that I've been making. It's not the best. I haven't really talked about comic books in this way before, so I'm still getting used to it. But if you guys want, I have a Captain America Civil War book right here that I'm about to start reading soon. So when I'm done with that, maybe I'll make a video about that. But with all that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you are going to read this. If you have, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.